week 1 of the fantasy football season. Here's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking this week. Number 1, Brandon Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys. So we know Brandon Aubrey, he could kick it almost from 70 yards. One of the better kickers we've seen in a long time with distance and accuracy is Aubrey. And this week in Philadelphia, Dallas knows they got to put points on the board. So Aubrey, like I said, he's got a big boot. He can stretch it out 60-plus yarders. They have confidence in him trotting out there and making the field goal attempt. And it's early in the season, so a night game at Philly on Thursday night shouldn't really affect Aubrey. Number 2, Will Lutz of the Denver Broncos. Will Lutz, the last couple seasons, he's resurrected his career back with Sean Payton over there in Denver. And the altitude and a team that stalls out a lot in the red zone, even though they've improved in the offseason, adding J.K. Dobbins, adding R.J. Harvey to the mix and Evan Ingram. Will Lutz, I still think he's going to get opportunities, and this is a game versus a Tennessee Titan team that's bend but don't break. So I think Lutz has a good game this week. Number 3, Jake Elliott of the Philadelphia Eagles. Elliott, he should get many opportunities in this game. This Cowboy defense isn't any good, especially trading away obviously Micah Parsons, their best defensive player a couple weeks ago. And Jake Elliott, last season, he was great for the championship Philadelphia Eagles. And this week, I think they're going to be in the red zone early and often versus Cowboy team. And he'll have a nice game. Number 4, Chase McLaughlin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. McLaughlin, another kicker, that 50-plus yards hasn't been a problem for him. And this week, a great matchup in Atlanta. Indoors, he don't have to deal with the elements. And this Falcon defense isn't that great as well, where I believe this could be a high-scoring game between these two division rivals. And McLaughlin, like I said, 50-plus yards hasn't been a problem for him. He's in a high-powered offense, and he's versus a defense that's vulnerable to giving up points. Number 5, Chris Boswell of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last season, Chris Boswell arguably was the best offensive weapon on this Pittsburgh Steelers team, where he was hitting multiple 50-plus yarders per game. Even one game, he had 7 field goals early in the season, scoring over 20 fantasy points was Chris Boswell. So this week in a matchup with the New York Jets, where they're a pretty solid unit defensively, and I don't think this offense is that good besides DK Metcalf and Jalen Warren. There's not much going on in this offense, in my opinion, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think Boswell, once again, he's going to get opportunities. This Jet defense has been but don't break over the last couple seasons. I like Boswell to be a top 5 option this week. Number 6, Cameron Dicker of the Los Angeles Chargers. One of the more accurate kickers of all time is Dicker. And last season, he was stretching out the range as well, 50-plus yards. So this Charger offense stalled out a lot last season. This offseason, they added some nice reinforcements to the starting lineup. Is this Los Angeles Charger team. They signed Keenan Allen back after he got traded away to the Chicago Bears, drafted Amarian Hampton, very impressive rookie running back this season in the first round. And I think this offense, they're going to get more opportunities for Dicker and be in the red zone more. And they know they got to put points on the board in this one. Even though Kansas City, their defense has been great and carried them over the last season, I still think Kansas City could put up some points in this game. And Dicker and this offense has to keep up. Number 7, Jake Bates of the Detroit Lions. And yes, maybe a little lower than consensus on Jake Bates entering this week. But this week, a tougher matchup at Green Bay. Obviously, their defense has improved a lot, adding Micah Parsons in a deal a couple weeks ago from the Dallas Cowboys. But Jake Bates, he's got a big boot. He's on one of the best offenses in the league, obviously loaded. Jared Goff, St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams. But this week at Green Bay, this could be a grinded out ball game between two division rivals this week. Number 8, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. Harrison Butker, one of the more accurate kickers as well. I know a couple years ago he started struggling from 50-plus yards, but the last year he got it back, his Butker, and now he's healthy coming into the season, where last season he was banged up a little bit. So this week, international game versus the Chargers, division matchup. Every point's going to be big in this one. And these games are usually close between these two teams. So I think Butker will get a few opportunities and be a decent option this week. Number 9, Kaim Fairbairn of the Houston Texans. A kicker this season, a lot of interesting kickers who can kick 50-plus yards. And Fairbairn was one of them last season, where he was hitting them pretty easily for this Texan team, but he missed some games as well with injuries. So this week, this could be a potential high-scoring game at the Los Angeles Rams. Indoor game, fast track, and this Texan defense is good, and this Ram defense middle of the pack. But Fairbairn on an offense that I think is going to stall out a lot as well this season, where they did add some pieces to this offense, but now with Joe Mixon out, I think they're going to struggle in the red zone at times. So Fairbairn, they might trot him out there a couple times in this ball game. Number 10, Young Hoku of the Atlanta Falcons. Jung Ho-Koo, we know he's been a way better kicker at home than he's been on the road throughout his career. And this week, a home game versus Tampa Bay coming to town. Tampa Bay, their defense is bend but don't break at times. And Jung Ho-Koo at home, like I said, that accuracy is great. And 50-plus yards home in Atlanta is nothing for him. So this week versus Tampa Bay, I think he'll go out there, have a decent performance. Number 11, Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals. Evan McPherson, we know he has a big boot. We know at times 50-plus yards has been a problem for McPherson throughout his NFL career, but on a high-powered offense, obviously, with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown out of the backfield. And this week at Cleveland, where Cleveland's had a good track record of late versus Cincinnati offense, there might be some opportunities where they get held to field goals, obviously, and they got to trot Evan McPherson out there as a Cincinnati Bengal team. So Evan McPherson, I know, might be a little low at number 11 for him, but this kicking position, very solid kickers this season. A lot of guys now could hit from 50-plus yards, and the final kicker I'm ranking this week's Cam Little of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cam Little in preseason got a lot of hype, obviously, hitting a 70-plus yarder. This week, a good matchup versus the Carolina Panthers, a defense that's one of the worst units in all pro football. And Cam Little is a guy that we've seen some flashes from him over the last couple of seasons, but now with that 70-yarder and them having confidence trotting him out there, his distance is unlimited from 50-plus yards up to 70. I guess Jacksonville would trot him out there, and this is a good offense on paper. Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas, Travis Henry, Brenton Strange, ETN, and Bigsby. So this offense, I think they could get to the red zone a decent amount of times in this ball game versus Carolina. And like I said, Cam Little, he has unlimited range almost. That's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking for week 1 of the fantasy football season.